Today is Tuesday, Parashat Vayishlach. Next week, Thursday evening, will be the first night of Hanukkah. So for 8 days, we're going to be lighting a Hanukkah and celebrating a joyful holiday and the holiday of lights. It's a holiday where we eat also certain types of food that are cooked in oil. And we light the Hanukkah either with candles or with oil, and the best way to do it is with olive oil. But it happens to be that during this period of the year in December, there's a lot of kind of a celebration out there by the Goyim, also the non-Jewish population that celebrates their holiday. And you can go to the mall and see both a tree, next to it a Hanukkah, a menorah. And unfortunately, some people might feel it's a kind of they have their holiday, we have ours. It's only a cultural celebration for the Jewish population to eat the sufganiyot and to light the menorah, but there's a very important concept associated with this actually very religious holiday, not just a cultural celebration in the season of the year. The light of the Hanukkah represents the light of the Torah. It represents the holiness of Torah and the sanctity of Torah that brings light into the darkness. During the period of the miracles of Hanukkah, the Greek authorities imposed on the Jewish people certain restrictions, not to learn Torah, not to celebrate Shabbat, not to mark the beginning of the month, the Rosh Chodesh, all having to do with the sanctity of Jewish people, not to do Brit Milah. And the Torah, they tried to make it into just a story book. They wanted to translate it into Greek and to sort of make it devoid of the Kedusha that is actually in every single letter and every word of the Torah. The Torah is not just a storybook. It's a divine book that was given to us by Hashem on Har Sinai, that has in it the mitzvot, that has in it deep meanings, layer below layer of holy words that actually with the Torah, the whole world was created. The Torah comes from the root word of light. The pasuk says, "Kiner mitzvah veTorah or." A mitzvah is like a candle, and the Torah is light. So when we light the Hanukkah, and we do it in an increasing way, from the first day, the second day, we add another one and another one, so that the light shines brighter and brighter from day to day. We're actually symbolically making a statement that there is a light in the Torah that emanates from the Torah, that brightens the darkness. After all, that period of the year when you go towards the end of December, it's the long nights, it's the dark nights, but we have light that can shine outward and specifically connected with the holiness and the sanctity of the Torah. That's what we celebrate. It's not just a cultural fun holiday where you play with the dreidel and you eat sofganiyot. It represents a celebration of the light of the Torah. And the word Hanukkah also is connected to the word chinuch, which means education, and specifically Torah Jewish education. That is one of the reasons why we celebrate Hanukkah, to show that even though the Greeks, they didn't persecute us physically to try to harm us physically. All they wanted us is to assimilate and to become like the Greeks and to be like one of them and to sort of like stay away from this idea or concept of sanctity of Torah. It was just a storybook. But on this holiday, what we do is we celebrate the unique sanctity and holiness of the Torah, the inspiration of the Torah, the wisdom of the Torah. And in that sense, as we light the Hanukkah, we're making a statement of our commitment to our unique identity as Jews, connected to what really is the eternal insurance policy of the Jewish people, which is the eternity of the Torah that is handed down from generation to generation. So these are some of the ideas associated with Hanukkah as we're getting ready for next week to light the Chanukiah, to keep these things in mind, that it's a religious holiday that celebrates the light of the Torah. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.